This is from Rora Pickles. She's like a friend of Ricky Berwick. I have worked all kinds of jobs. I've owned businesses and streaming is harder. Just because streaming was easier than your 9 to 5 doesn't mean my version of streaming is. If you put as much effort into your content as you did into complaining, we wouldn't be having this discussion. And then she clarifies, my main point is different for everyone. There's so many variables that these bad takes don't account for. Be wary of those who are critical of others, but do not look within. Okay, let's focus on the top part right here, all right? She's saying, I worked all kinds of jobs. I've even owned businesses. Streaming is harder. Just because streaming is easier than your 9 to 5 doesn't mean my version of streaming is. Okay, listen, all right? I don't understand how. I don't get it, all right? I just don't understand how, all right? I feel like there's a lot of streamers. I don't know if this necessarily applies to this person. I don't know. But there's like a lot of streamers who are like, please look at what I do and respect it, all right? YouTubers get a lot of shit, all right? But at least with a lot of YouTubers, they're creating something. They're writing something. They're scripting something. They're organizing something. They're throwing together a product. They're giving it the finishing touch, the polishes. They're learning how to edit. They're learning the mathematics of the YouTube algorithm. They're learning how to optimize thumbnails. They're learning how to create thumbnails. They're learning Photoshop. There's a lot that goes into making a YouTube video where it can be looked at and perceived even by normies as somewhat of an art form, all right? Streamers, on the other hand, they get shit on because your job is so simple. All you do is sit on a chair and talk out of your ass, all right? That's what I'm doing right now. So streamers, naturally, they look at, the perception that they're given by normies, and they're like, well, please, my job is actually extremely difficult. Actually, my job is harder than your job. I'm sorry. Streaming is at its core a very simple job. Now, you can make it more difficult. You can do game shows and host guests and host your own radio shows. And let me tell you guys something, all right? Even when I'm not working on my show, I am constantly thinking and conjuring up different fucking ideas, different ways I can make my content better, different topics I can talk about, different subjects I can hit. I'm working on graphics for the show. I'm working on new segments for the show. I'm working on all kinds of things for the show. I'm sorry, this job is still pretty fucking easy, all right? There's a reason why I like doing what I do, because it's a very comfortable job. It's my hobby that I'm able to turn into something I can buy this cool ass place for. You know what I mean? Let's not kid ourselves over here. It's very fucking easy. And I struggle to understand how this tweet was even made. I just I don't get it. I don't understand.
Yeah. No, I don't dislike Rora. I've talked to her before, but
yeah, she seems alright.
It's kind of dumb. The only way I could see someone preferring a different job over streaming is if they just don't like streaming at all.
Yeah.
If you like to, let's say, I don't know, your job is to manage McDonald's. I know that's such a lowbrow job, but it's just something that came to my head. And you just enjoy doing that type of work better than streaming. Maybe that job is easier for you to do than streaming. So if that's the case, why are you streaming? Mm-hmm. And then if we're talking about logistically, if we take a blank slate of a person with no preferences to a job whatsoever, obviously physically construction work and 9 to 5s are gonna be harder than streaming because you're just sitting on your ass talking. I don't know. It's just streaming can be hard some days for some people, but I don't think it's fair to compare it. I started thinking
about this and talking about this on my pre-show I did earlier today on YouTube, and I was like, have I ever gotten stressed doing this job? And the only time I could think of it was there's a lot of shows, specifically shows where I know I'm going to talk about something very serious, or shows where I'm talking about something that I don't know too much about, that I didn't have enough time to prep for, or I got lazy for, or shows where I have a guest. Usually any guest, no matter who it is, I'll get nervous for, unless it's somebody that I know. Like the show that we had, what was that guy? Noah Hugbox on, the show that we had, we don't really do many guests, but I'm thinking of other guests we've had on the show. Usually anytime I have a guest on the show, I fucking shit myself. The show that I did where I did my response to Keemstar, Bowblax can testify, before I did that stream, I had to take a breather. And then I even had to take a breather on stream before I did the segment, just because I'm like, okay, here we go. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I feel like that doesn't really count. There's never been I've never been awake at night and been oh, my job security, it's a very comfortable honest.
Yeah.
Chill.
Also,
think
usually you make more, depending on your size. Obviously, it completely depends on your size, but once you get to a certain size...
Size does matter.
Like the size that you are at or that Rora is at, it gets to a point where you can, like, literally take days off, and it's not... doesn't affect you. Meanwhile, these people working 9 to 5, they literally have to work every day, or else they would get fired and their income is slashed. You can literally take days off as streaming and it's no issue. So that like alleviates like a lot of the hard work.
I think that there is some merit though, because like when we look at like John Swan, like I think a lot of the stuff that John Swan does was because he was like legitimately worried about losing what he had, and that's what led him to like do things that led more to that than what he was worried about. But like if you're able to do it and you're able to constantly maintain it and you have like realistic expectations and you just keep working at it, like it's a very like easy thing. I don't know.
I don't
because you can give yourself breaks.
It would be stressful if you suck at it. It would be stressful if like you see diminishing sub counts every day, or if you see like
but you shouldn't treat it as a job
100
when you're
viewers
at that level.
and then you get like, you're lucky if you get like 120 viewers or something like that. I can definitely understand like why some people would be panicking, but I don't know.
And if you're at a point where it's like, oh, I can't take a day off or else I won't have money to like eat or whatever because that's like how small of a streamer you are, it probably should be a hobby and not a full-time job anyway at that point.
You really need to make sure your shit's lined up. Dude, I've been making like income that I'd be comfortable living at for like the past year, and I only just moved out like this month, you know what I mean? Like I'm not really, it's not
I have
like,
a lot saved up too.
It's not like
it's
not like I instantly hit like the point and I'm like, let's go, it's time. No, I was like, I need like a year straight of just solid, like where I can like gauge patterns and I can just like see like how like shit moves and stuff like that. So I'm not like fucking literally DSP. Like I'm just like, please feed me. I'm so hungry.
Well, like DSP for all of his like meme status and stuff like that. Like people forget DSP used to like be one of the biggest gaming YouTubers in the world. He used to be like insanely popular. He used to get like 2,000 viewers on a stream per night.
Jesus. What the fuck happened?
He continued to alienate every single person around him. It's sort of like a weird thing that you see a lot of times, and it happens also when people like have like a really successful stream and then do nothing with that. They have like one thing that like their video goes viral and then they like languish in insignificance, and they have like maybe 100 views after they uploaded something on their like 50K YouTube channel or something like that. Like there's that too, and like it's entertainment. Entertainment is a fickle thing, but like I don't know, if you dread it, you should probably look into doing something else. I don't know.
Probably. Yeah.
RFC After Hours is a live trending issues and entertainment broadcast with co-host Bowblax, broadcasted every weekday, Monday through Friday, starting at 6:30 p.m. Central. The show is for entertainment purposes only. All chat messages and donations read are the words of the original messenger, and certain viewpoints expressed do not reflect that of myself or Bowblax.